Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again, great to have you here. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of Render, TAO, Kaspa and Ondo. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to start trading, then you can use my referral link, which you can find in the video description for Bitunix. There I just not provide you a 20% discount on the fees of Bitunix. You will also get access to my current ongoing campaign with Bitunix. So if you deposit a certain amount of money until the 2nd July, then you will also get a futures bonus. That futures bonus can be used to open trades. So if you get your trades in losses, then you won't lose your own money. You will lose the futures bonus first. And in the video description, you will also find a referral link to mexc. So if you want to trade on mexc with their low taker fees, then I also provide you there a 20% discount on the fees from mexc. So let's jump into Render. So about Render, what did we say? We have said that we have a green trend line which broke to the upside, which got its retest target $4. We have also said we have here an inverted head and shoulders formatation, which also broke the $3.84 to the upside. Target is first the length of one shoulder. It's also around about $4. Afterwards, we consolidated within a bull flag, which also broke to the upside. Okay, we went back into the bull flag, but here $4. That target would have got invalidated if we would have broke the $3.73 to the downside. This didn't happen, so basically target got hit. So in my opinion, we have to wait for the $4 breaking to the upside again. Then the target is going to be the $4.23 to $4.30. That's also the target of the length of the shoulder, of the head from the inverted head and shoulders formatation. That would be also positive because we have the $4 as resistance. So if we break the $4 to the upside, then I think we have a good chance getting into the circle. If we break the $3.73 to the downside, then I think the chance is very high that we even drop down to $3 because we still have the three targets ongoing in the area between $3.23 to $3, inclusively a huge fair value gap. So now it's, I would say, make it or break it point. So we got to our target $4. We can sell off still, but we have to break the $4 to the upside. We can also form different kind of bullish chart patterns, but we can also form a bearish one. So this can also be an head and shoulders formatation. And if we break this to the downside, then this can indicate the breakout lower than $3.73. And then we should sell off a lot for Render before we push to the upside. If we break the $4 first to the upside, we should see this prices up to $4.31. But the fair value gap is still ongoing. The targets are still ongoing. We have to break the $4.52 to the upside. So I would say that would actually invalidate at least two chart patterns. But if we get a nice push to the upside, then the bearish chart patterns all got invalidated. So make it or break it point, $4 or $3.73 for Render. Let's jump into TAO. TAO did a nice move to the upside. So we have found a rising wedge in orange, which broke to the upside, but this rising wedge could have also be changed. So it's still a bearish chart pattern, which broke to the downside. We were hoping for a low here. Then we would have got a double bottom pattern. Or a low here with a nice push to the upside, afterwards a low here. Then it would be an inverted head and shoulders formatation. So we have also said if the 388 US dollar breaks to the upside, then we can get some positive momentum. We got it. So basically what we have done is we didn't get a double bottom pattern, we didn't get an inverted head and shoulders pattern, but what we got is a cup and handle formatation. So the cup and handle formatation is this here, cup and handle, broke to the upside. Target 428 US dollar. So we are currently at resistance, and this resistance trend line, this white one, we had on the chart before. We had it on the chart when we had this price development. So we have said in the past, if we break the 437 to the upside, then we can get and reach the 500 US dollar for TAO. This trend line, we have just made it longer. And now I don't prefer the breakout over the white trend line. I prefer the breakout at 415 US dollar, which is resistance. If we break it to the upside, then it's going to be support. And I think we can get a nice push to the upside, even up to $500. Do I think that this is realistic? I think for now, no, because we have already made a nice push to the upside. So we can get a pullback, and we have to see what kind of pullback is it going to be. Is it going to be a bull flag? Is it going to be a falling wedge? Then yes, it would be bullish. And yes, those chart patterns can indicate the breakout over the 415 US dollar. But if we break to the downside, so if we lose the 388 US dollar to the downside again, then I think we are going to drop a bit more. And I can't tell you where, because I don't have chart patterns, because this chart pattern got invalidated with the push to the upside. This was also just for the orientation. For a long trade, we wait for the 388 US dollar. So, what about Kaspa? We have already predicted the price movement to the downside down here perfectly. We have also predicted this push to the upside, not 100% perfectly, but it can still turn out very bullish. So we have said we have here a consolidation within the panel. This panel broke to the upside. And now we have a consolidation within a bull flag. I have two scenarios in mind. If the 8.8 cents breaks to the upside, then I think we should see the 9 cents. If we see the 9.2 cents, then this was a double bottom pattern. If we break it to the upside, the target of the double bottom pattern is going to be the 10.5 cents for Kaspa, with the resistance here at around about 10 cents. This price is going to move over the time a bit to the downside. So we have to see if we find some other kind of resistance and support in the future, some other chart patterns which direct us more precise into a certain price area. But once we break the 9.2 cents to the upside, 10.5 cents is first of all the overall target. So what if we break the 8.3 cents to the downside? Then I think that you can already see it. The lower part of the bull flag and the red trend line are crossing each other. So if we lose the cross, then I think that the bullish scenario is done. We should drop to 8 cents again, and we can even get lower prices down to 7.6 cents for Kaspa. So here I would look closely. The first long trade which I could catch is the breakout over 8.8 cents, but where I want to have the most money in is once we break the 9.2 cents to the upside. You can already see it. We have a lot of fair value gaps on the 1 hour chart. If we look into the 50 minutes chart, then you are going to see nothing because it's not loading. Now you can see it. We also have fair value gaps. So this is going to get very interesting. Those two price marks are the key levels which I'm looking for, breaking to the upside or breaking to the downside. So a bit more tricky is Ondo, because can you see something? Maybe not. I still see something. So we have said this bright blue trend line can be inverted head and shoulders formatation. We went into the target of one shoulder, so I didn't take the target of one shoulder on the chart anymore. I have now the length of the head. So that's the length of the head. We put it to the breakout point. Target 89.3 cents. There also in fair value gap ends. So anyway, let me take this one out. So if we zoom in, then you can see that we are currently in a rectangle. So this can be a double bottom pattern. This can be a double top pattern. So I personally think rectangles are unique, and you know that because you have watched hopefully my channel a bit longer. Rectangles tend to break into both directions. We also have in dark blue a rising wedge. So if we break the cross at 81.8 cents or a bit later the rising wedge, then I can imagine that we are going to get first a pullback to the downside into the area 78 cents to 79 cents. In this area, I think we are going to form a higher low. So that's a low, that's a higher low. Afterwards, we would get, in my opinion, an inverted head and shoulders formatation, which should break to the upside, which should get into the target of the upper part of the rectangle, which is the 88 cents. And this is going to get very interesting because then we have two targets directing us into a fair value gap. And if we break it to the upside, then, the 89.3 cents, if we break it to the upside, then we should get into the targets of the inverted head and shoulders formatation. So, if we get a price movement like this, means a bigger pullback to the downside, which can even reach prices down to 78 cents, round about that, and then a push to the upside, then I think the push can even reach prices up to 95 cents for Ondo. So you can already see it, how difficult it can be with chart patterns. But if we break them in the right order to the upside or to the downside, then we can form other chart patterns. And then we have to see, like I said, the rectangle is unique. The order in which direction we break is more important. Because if we break to the downside, then the target up here is still ongoing. For sure, yes, we can still get lower prices, but afterwards expect a push at least into the target of the rectangle. So I want to see breaking to the downside before we break to the upside. Break to the downside, push to the upside, get into the targets. If that is going to happen and I catch some kind of early entry, means if we have, for example, let's assume we are somewhere in here in this area. So if we sell off and we form something like a small double bottom pattern, which we afterwards break to the upside, then I can enter my long entry right here. And I expect getting this push even up to 96 cents, 95 cents. And I can increase my position size on the way up because this yellow trend line is coming from the upside. So if we, what did I do here? So if we make this trend line longer and we break it to the upside later, then we will get even a lower entry price for Ondo. And then up to 89 cents, it's 12% to the maximum target. Let's round it up, let's say 20%, without increasing our position size. If we increase our position size with more chart patterns, breaking to the upside, then this can actually be a trade where I would say, here I can easily double, triple my money if we get this kind of chart development. So Ondo is currently my coin where I have not even both eyes on it. I have all my eyes on Ondo, because in my opinion, that's going to be my potential best performer maybe next week. So I hope that I gave you some valuable information, and yes, we can get a pullback, can still be bullish. We can also break to the upside, get into our target, and we can still be bearish. The market situation is a bit unclear at the moment, but for me as a day trader, it's totally fine because I can trade in both directions and I have my targets. I'm not holding my trade. For example, let's imagine I want to short once we break the 83 cents to the downside. Then I'm not going to hold the trade if we are in the take profit area. If we are in the take profit area of the chart patterns, then I'm going to take profits, close even my trade, because I'm not waiting for this to be happen. So with that said, we will see each other tomorrow with hopefully more chart patterns, or for example for Ondo, with a much more clearer situation where we don't have 5 chart patterns on the chart, which we have to connect with each other. But yes, this also worked so far. We just have to see if this is going to be our future price development for Ondo. So we see each other tomorrow.